Hello, Modern Explorers! Welcome to the very first episode of Locally Vocal. I'm your host, Zach Noel.
And I'm the co-host, Tarek Attal.
Today we're going to be talking with the MCYL representative, Austin Cochran. How are you doing, Austin?
I'm doing well.
All right. So today we're going to talk about MCYL and what they're all about. So the first thing that I have to ask is, what is MCYL?
So Midland County Youth Leadership is a 2-day power-packed youth leadership event, and it's a training for local freshmen. So we bring them in, and they go 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. for 2 straight days, and they have guest speakers that come in, and they speak to them about their leadership experiences. We do a lot of team building activities. They find out what their color personality is and how to better interact with their peers. They'll do a games night. That's always fun. So we do lots of crazy activities then, and then we'll wrap it all up with graduation.
So how did the program get started?
So the program got started, I think, about 16 years ago, and it was an offshoot of Leadership Midland, which is the adult leadership development program here in Midland.
What types of leadership activities and games are there?
So we'll do a lot of team building activities. So those are, you'll be in groups of 9 within your color groups, and then you'll do a lot of team building activities. We have them jump through tires. We'll have them do an activity where they all have to close their eyes, pick up a rope, and turn it into a square and various other shapes without being able to see it. And then on games night, there's games like Nuke 'em, and they'll have the Pass the Orange type games. So they'll do a lot.
How does that work?
So Pass the Orange, for those of you who don't know, is when you have an orange and you stick it in your neck, and then you have to pass it to the next person. So it's a pretty good icebreaker for freshmen. It's pretty fun to watch. So
Sounds really, really interesting.
Yep.
So you talked about color personalities and the color groups. How does that work?
So the color groups are separated. There's 5 different color groups that they'll go into at the very beginning of the program, and they are green, blue, yellow, purple, and orange. And so that's just a random selection of the different 45 participants, and that gets you into a group of 9 people that you'll be with for the rest of the program. And then the color personalities segment is where we give them a test, and it analyzes what their personality is of either an orange, green, blue, or yellow type personality. And so that can tell you kind of what your tendencies are as a person and how you would be more likely to want to interact with other people. Like, I'm personally an orange and a green personality, so I'm a little bit more academic on the green side. I like to think logically, and then on the orange side, I'm spontaneous, and I don't really enjoy authority structures or like having a hard schedule. So I like flexibility.
So talk about the skits.
Oh yeah, at the very beginning of the program is one of our first icebreakers that we do. We have the freshmen all make up their own skits. So they will have a variety of props, and it's just a really good way for them to start to really get to know each other and do something together.
That sounds nice.
When I was interviewing one of the other representatives a week or 2 ago, they talked about how you guys have explored more of the community around Midland, such as like the Arnold Center and stuff like that. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we go all over during our program. Last year, the Arnold Center is always one of our highlights because it's a place that not a lot of people know about in our community. And last year we went to the community center. This year we're looking at going to the tennis center. We've gone to the Center for the Arts, all over Northwood's campus because that's our home base. But yeah, we like to take them to a variety of places. We went to the Chippewa Nature Center last year, and it's a good way to get them involved and knowing about some of the different places in our community that they may not have ever seen before.
Right. Discuss the how do team building activities relate to real life situations?
Sure. So a lot of the stuff that we put them through is really just focused on getting them to interact with each other in a positive way And those collaboration skills are things that you use on a daily basis, whether working in group projects at school or just having to have positive interactions with your peers. It's a crucial life skill.
So one of the other things that's involved with the MCYL, beyond just the freshmen that are introduced, is the steering committee. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, so our steering committee is made up of about 27 youth in 10th through 12th grade in the county. And they are WILE graduates, so they've gone through the program, like myself, their freshman year, and then they're selected from the people that went through the program to be on the team. So we meet every other week over the whole course of the year, planning this whole program, and it's a lot of work, but it's definitely rewarding. We contact everyone, we put the whole thing together, so it's a good time, but it's a lot of work.
What are some of the roles that you have to do as steering committee?
So personally, I've been on the logistics subcommittee for the last 2 years. So that focuses a lot on making sure all of our locations get nailed down and our transportation is intact and we have all the stuff that we need there for the program. And then this year I'm chairing the personal development subcommittee. So that focuses a lot on our goal setting segment and developing our freshmen as people.
So explain to me the benefits of the Midland County Youth Leadership Group.
So I think as you go through as a participant, some of the biggest things that you'll take away are how to have an impact on your community, number one. That's one of the things that we really try to push, and how you can really show yourself to be a leader in your life, and I think that's pretty important.
It's a big confidence booster, really. Like,
Yeah.
it helps you out.
Yeah, it really is, and it was for me especially. I tend to be a little bit more of a type A personality in general, but youth leadership really taught me how to collaborate well with people, and I think that was one of my biggest takeaways.
Well, that sounds absolutely fantastic. It really does.
So MCRL is a year-long activity or so?
It's a year-long activity for us on the steering committee, yes, but the program itself is just a 2-day event.
So how do you apply for MCYL or get involved?
So we go out to all of the local freshmen's classes and we make sure that they know. But the freshmen, they will send in an application. Our process is all online now. That's within the last 2 years, so we're really excited about that. But they just need to grab a link from their local office at their school and get online and fill that out.
One of the other things I had before signing off was why freshmen versus, upperclassmen or, middle schoolers?
Yeah, well, one of the big things about being a freshman is there's not a lot of stuff that's really offered just for you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really good time as you're starting to go into high school to really expose yourself to stuff that you can do over the rest of your high school career. So it helps them get involved at an early age so that they can really use the things that they take away over the rest of their high school career.
So what's the biggest thing you want people to know about the Midland County Youth Leadership Group?
I think the biggest thing that people need to know is that it's here, it's staying, and for the freshmen, I want everybody to know about it because
it's a big opportunity.
Right.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and I hear people all the time that come up to me and they're like, "Hey, I didn't hear about this as a freshman. I wish I would have done it." I'm like, dang!
That was actually me.
We don't want that to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely sounds like it could really boost the confidence of freshmen and get them to learn to work with people and become a better leader, which is something that I feel like it's really, really helpful, and it's definitely something that more people should consider in trying to get involved in.
Sure.
It's an important stepping stone, really, as a freshman, because it gets a lot of networking out the way too, because you can.
Right.
Yeah, you get to know a lot of new people as well because you're thrown into a group with people from across the Midland County, not a lot of people in your own school. So, yeah,
and they're all your age too, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
So I guess that's about it, actually. But before we wrap up, we do have Q&A section from our little Google form that we'd like to answer, and all of us can answer it here. So the first question is from an anonymous person. They chose to remain anonymous, but they ask, what is your number one fear? So, Tarek, what is your number one fear?
My number one fear is, this is tough because I have a lot of fears. I would say my number one fear is probably, messing up when talking to a group of people. I don't know. I have a lot of fears. I don't know what my biggest
So like
one
social
is.
anxiety or something like
Social,
that.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of my number one fears personally has to be like public speaking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a junior, there's like the IOP, which is kind of like the big English, you know, application, like essay thing that you have to take. And it's like a verbal presentation, and
Yeah.
you have to go through a lot of things, and it's usually over something you might not like a book or something like that. And it's really tricky because if you're not
Interested in the book,
Yeah,
if
it's
you don't
it's
like the
hard.
story, you don't like, you know, just how it's written, it's really tough to, you know, give a presentation about something that you really don't like or want to talk about.
And plus, you have that stress
sure.
in between when you give the IOP and when the teacher's grading it, because they don't give it back right away.
I mean, you're just standing there, you're talking, you're you know, you're presenting, and then you see that your teacher's there right in front of you. She's, you know,
she's taking the notes.
she's
down,
taking the
yeah.
notes, putting in the grade, and yeah, that's definitely something that makes me nervous whenever I'm giving a speech. I took public speaking my freshman year, and I was terrible, but hey,
You weren't that bad.
it got me, well, at first, but it helped me improve my public speaking, and that's what I liked about it. I mean, I feel like whenever people have an opportunity to get better at something, they should always take that opportunity, you know?
Yeah. I mean, getting outside of your comfort zone is key to growth.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
That's
yeah.
something that we stress at YL too. So,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
What about you?
number one fears, I think, death is probably the number one fear. But I mean, anything that's publicly embarrassing would probably
Oh yeah.
be
For sure.
at the top of my list.
Well, that's about it actually. So, thank you for tuning in. We'll meet back next week for another episode of Vocally Vocal.